pew, 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 pew.
Pew. Pew, pew. Pew, 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 pew.
What's going on, everybody?
Why it does that?
I don't know. I keep trying to fix it, but it doesn't want to fix.
April. First one here.
April's first. Hi, April. How's it going, April?
It says 0 viewers and she's here.
Oh, and Stephanie is
Stephanie.
number 2 in the
What's up?
house. What's up? Oh, no, that guy.
What is that?
What is that?
It's like he was stalking us. Waiting.
Stalker.
Stalker. I look like I've lost some weight.
Yeah, me too.
Actually, you do look like you've lost some.
Yeah. Buff, buff, buff.
What's up? Everybody pouring in tonight.
So we got Hidden Within Myself, Naturally NC, Geeky Gardens, TJ, One Lost Dude. How can you not be Naturally NC? I mean, if you're in NC, aren't you there naturally? Could you be a GMO and be on YouTube?
You could be GMO NC.
That's just too many letters.
That's like the
I mean,
alphabet soup.
Right now, all I'm hearing with that one is don't say nothing. Remember Robin Williams from Good Morning Vietnam? When he was like the VP, when the vice president was coming. VIP for the VP.
VP, yeah.
We don't hope that the VC. That's what I was like.
Geeky Garden says, we have a bird down here that does pew 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 just like Jason. I'm going to record it one day. Hey, Art, what's up?
I'm exhausted. We got a little bit accomplished today.
Mark, what's up? You could be an imposter or a transplant. I'm naturally CA at this point, brah. Brah. We'll just call you Chad.
Do not think I cannot reach through the internet and slap the ever-loving bra.
Brah. Men's Over Acres, what's up?
I'm gonna bra me, and I still haven't even got I didn't even get a Father's Day card.
Somebody's a little salty.
No, I'm not, because Mom's... Ow.
I'm sorry, I got this, like, reflex. It's, like, kicking
I'm about to have a reflex, and it's got 3 letters. DDT! Ooh, it's Stone Cold! Like that TikTok you made me watch, right? Stone Cold, yep. Gonna get stunned.
Who's the one that's dun 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 dun? Who's that? Dun 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 dun. Whose music is that?
It's John Cena!
That's who it is. You got a FaceTime?
Oh, you're taking after your mother.
The farther you go, what is up? You know who that is? No? That's the guy that we met out at Jeremiah's. Maybe you didn't meet him. I met him. Sorry, I met him when I was picking up Carol before I blew up the car.
Ah, okay. Before you blew up the car, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wait a minute. The farther you go, I'm wondering if that's the guy that was there when I first showed up.
He might be. I don't know. I met him without y'all around, so I don't know if it's the same guy or not. I have no idea. Son of a biscuit. What does Sydney say? Sugarfoot.
Sugarfoot. Sugar snap peas.
Sugar snap peas. Speaking of peas, it's almost time to start putting peas back in the ground. Man, y'all, this growing season has gone fast. We're like halfway through it. Halfway through it.
I was scared at the beginning of that sentence.
Why? Why'd you think I was?
Because I was afraid that you was about to jinx stuff again.
Oh, no.
And say something that you shouldn't be saying to jinx it. And
about what, though?
No, I'm not saying it.
Oh, okay. D, what's up?
Because I'm not going to be responsible for said jinx.
Gotcha. Whew. It's been a week here, y'all.
But there's a reason why.
Okay.
The AC hasn't been on. And
yes.
I don't want you to say anything about it and jinx it.
I'm wondering if that's Ned. So how many of y'all follow us on Facebook? I want to know. Because I posted something today that if you do follow us and you happen to miss it on the Big Bear Nation, you absolutely need to go check it out. It was funny.
Well, here's the thing. AT&T. If anybody in here works for said AT&T, or if, hey, AT&T,
why did I think that you were... Maybe it was somebody else I met then. Wasn't there when y'all got her. I was able to meet her when I was there. Absolutely wonderful young lady. Might be thinking about... No, it wasn't Chris. There was somebody else there.
We know Chris really, really well, even though he don't even come over. But back to AT&T.
Yes.
Look, y'all. AT&T, look, I'm just going to put this out there. We left Verizon to go with y'all. Because y'all said y'all had 5G out here and y'all had the best, this, that, and the other, and you were saving us a whole bunch of money. I'm this close to going back. This close.
Although I'm hearing that everybody's having problems with this new 5G network.
Yeah, but I mean, it's simple stuff like the voice recognition that has... I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, like the voice recognition, I don't know. Maybe it got stuff in its AI ears or something.
I don't know, but it was terrifying because I was using the voice recognition because I was going to go get feed, and you had asked me.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about earlier in this week when you were talking about when I said, "Hey, what you doing?" and you're like, "Oh, he's driving," and I'm just.
I said he's driving in the rain to the next customer, and you were like,
he who?
And I was like, it's a she, because I'm thinking you're asking like what my next customer is, and then I went back and looked at it, and I was like,
no, because then it came across, he's driving on the way to the next customer. I'm like, he who? And then you were like, she.
Her.
Wow. Her.
Rebecca.
And I'm like, okay, who's her? And then it was like, Rebecca. And I'm like, who's
Rebecca?
And then it went silent.
And then the best part was we're sitting on the couch today, and you're like, you never did tell me who Rebecca was. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
But,
yeah. So today was funny because I'm driving to go over to go pick up feed, and we wanted to start a second round or third round of some stuff. And so Jason was asking me, he was like, what else we already did this, what else do you want?
Yeah. Now, I'm going to interrupt right here and say, okay, first of all, children disclosure, plug their ears, because the voice recognition went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But I'm also going to say, guys and gals, if you're married and all of a sudden you get a weird text from your significant other, don't stab them in the eye with a hot poker or something when they get home. It's probably voice recognition, because it's been absolutely crazy.
I was telling you, my cousin, it kept repeating the same line. It was like I was stuttering. And I'm like, I said it one time. Why is it typing it out 3 times?
Well, look, I'll be the first one to admit publicly, in a public forum, that if I'm typing something out and I type out a word, I'm like, I don't think I spelled that right. And it's not coming up with autocorrect, because, in English, we've got 14 different words for a pair of pliers.
Right.
And so I'll say it into the voice recognition.
Right, to see
but sometimes, what did I send you? Oh, I said, we're going to diffuse eucalyptus oil.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
In Carol's room. And it went across.
I don't even remember, but it was ridiculous.
It was like, he can stand up oil, or.
I don't know. What do you see?
That low life.
That is a Freckles.
Okay, wait for it. You can barely see his horn. See, he's trying to hide because he's seeing the door come open. Can you see him on the screen, Robyn?
No, all I see is the boat right now, honey. You're down.
What about now?
Not really.
Well, that's because he just went behind the bushes again. He's gonna come out right here. You see the opening, like.
Just hold it still right there, and if he comes,
hold the door too.
Well, stand out on the.
It don't reach that far.
Okay. Oh no.
Oh,
Lift it up just a teeny bit. Lift it up, right there.
You should be seeing him now. He just went across that hole in the dam.
No.
What do you mean no? What do you see on the screen?
Don't see him. What dam? Down at
the
the
one
bottom?
he's walking across.
No,
it's not like he's swimming.
I don't see him. Where's he at?
He's up here by the top now.
Oh, okay. Stay right there. Stay lit. Leave it right there. Okay, you just see his like. Yeah. No, you got to see a teeny bit going across like his backside.
He should be right there. You should be able to see him between the. Yep, I'm never taking you hunting.
Okay, see where
the trees are moving?
The shine is on the pond right there, right middle of the screen. If you look,
do you not see the trees moving?
Straight across the trees moving. That's where he is. Go grapple him, Jason.
I don't think so, Tim.
Anyway.
So he has not been up here for a couple of days. So I'm assuming he just wants to come say hello.
Probably. He wanted to come check out the hay. The hay bale.
I hate that jerk. I absolutely hate him.
Anyway. Jason to the rescue. Which animal is where? It was Freckles. Run back the way you came. Go grapple him, Jason, and TikTok it. No.
But we are probably going to do a TikTok with him.
We are?
Yeah, that one that Carol wants to do.
Oh, yeah.
Don't run from the Lord.
Do you have time to talk about your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
Don't run from the Lord.
We're definitely going to do that one. It's going to be funny. Anyway, so what were we talking about? I don't even remember.
I don't even remember now. Oh, the stupid...
the voice recognition.
Yeah, voice recognition. But, at the end of the day, everybody's like on me to go ahead and process him. But at the end of the day, the steps that we're taking to be able to move into the Herefords and the Highland cattle, he's doing me major benefits right now. Major benefits.
Because
he is showing me every... The two... he's really only got 3 spots where he's probably getting out right now. One, I pretty much know he is because he's bent over some privet and stuff like that where he has walked over the fence because it's probably
and he's tall,
right at my belly.
Yeah, his leg, if you really stand up next to him, he's a fairly tall cow. Yeah. So,
but he has forced me to go through our fence line with loppers and walk it through some of the thick stuff. And we've had some...
Why picket fence? What's up?
We've had some trees
down.
Uh-huh. And now that we're back in storm season, Robyn and I made the decision, and this is one of the reasons why, if you read the title of tonight's live stream, why we've made that decision also, is that we are starting at the very back pasture of our property, and we are clearing along the fence lines. We're doing exactly what Jeremiah is doing over at his place right now, except for he has it a whole lot easier.
Because most of his
he didn't have a lot
fence
of
lines. There's no tree. Yeah, there's really no tree.
And we're pulling all the fence down. We're pulling the T-posts out, and we're either bush hogging, well, I call it bush hogging, but really it's me with my push mower. Clearing a path for the fence line, and then we're pacing out the fences, the T-posts, driving new T-posts in and straight, and then we're running 6 to 7 strands of barbed wire. I'm going from about the top of my, right about here, headwise, down to about the middle of my shins, and I'm spacing them about that far apart. And so we have to do it sections at a time in order, well, one, because we cannot afford to go out and just buy all that barbed wire to be able to do it all at one time. But we're doing it sections
at a time. What are you laughing at?
My one of my bestest buddies came in and he said, "Hey, sweet cheeks."
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that we got to be doing. So, but we're also using the 4-prong barbed wire. We're using barbed wire that's made in America. It's 20 gauge, and we are
20 gauge.
Mm-hmm. That's the one I picked up this time. It was like $40-some bucks.
You got a lesser gauge than last time.
Well, that's all they had.
Oh.
Which also we're going to be bringing up in tonight's topic. But let's talk about the title of the live stream real quick. Robyn and I have had to, over the last month, almost cancel just about every live stream.
And honestly, we were going to cancel tonight.
But we had a storm come in, so it stopped us from doing what we were doing. But we are going to suspend our live streams for the rest of the summer because we are trying to... Well, one, we just got so much more daylight during...
To do stuff, yeah.
During this time. I mean, it's still daylight. As you saw, it's still daylight outside. And we know you guys are out doing stuff on your homesteads, and because we've got so much going on right now here with Freckles and running fences and running meat birds and
the goats have been giving us a time at times. I mean, there are Saturdays where, well, the last 2 Saturdays are a perfect example. Like it gets to be about 6:30, 7, and we're like, there's just no way.
Well, in all honesty, y'all, and if you're not doing this, let me be the voice of reason for you right now. Let me be the bee in your bonnet. We are hardcore focusing on putting up as much food as we possibly can. Anytime that we go to Walmart to pick up fishing hooks or stuff like that, Robyn and I, we always like to peruse just to kind of see the price of pork, the price of chicken, price of beef. Beef is absolutely through the roof right now. Pork is climbing, and it's getting to the point where just about all food is rising. Like, you had to go into Walmart the other day, and you told me this time last year you remember eggs being
like 68, 70 cents a dozen for the cheap, the white eggs or whatever. They're $1 a dozen right now.
Yeah.
And but one thing I did notice was sugar had gone back down from post-COVID. When COVID hit, sugar went through the roof. I used to buy a 25-pound bag for like $9 or $10. It went up to like $13. And now it's back down to like 11. It's still not, 9 or whatever it was, 12. I don't know. Anyway, it's like $11 now.
And there's some other things that I really have noticed. Like when we talking with Jeremiah and trying to help him get the stuff that he needs, a lot of fencing, a lot of metal is either the prices are going
holy crap
through the roof, or the availability is not there. And it's eye-opening, it's awakening for most. And it's a ripple effect. I bet. I guess is the. I got like. Y'all gonna have to forgive me because. Do we?
What?
Talk about it.
About. Oh. No.
Okay.
A 3-pack of steaks was $50 last week. Holy jeez.
It's a ripple effect from COVID.
Right.
Okay. When they shut this nation down, that means production stopped. Mm-hmm. Whether it was beef, chicken, making barbed wire, making gates, whatever. Yeah. Unless you were a little tiny mom and pop thing producing things. And this is why I say find those mom and pop, those small businesses, and support them. It may cost you a little bit more, but
What was that?
I don't know. That's why I was looking at stuff. But the availability of things may be there, depending on what they make,
right?
What they do. And so we're going to have these constant things. Like we all witnessed lumber go through the roof. And now everybody's talking about because lumber on the stock market is crashing. It's supposed to ripple down to your Lowe's or Home Depot. Guys, you're not going to see that ripple for a while. Mm-hmm. And the reason being is because Lowe's and Home Depot, they bought all of that OSB, all of those 2x4s at those high prices, those super high prices. And they've got it stacked up outside because nobody was buying it. And so now they got all this revenue sitting out there, and it's sitting. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those CEOs and stuff, they don't want to take that loss. And so they're going to keep
sitting there.
That OSB at $60, $70 a sheet for as long as they can. Mm-hmm. Now, the American people, we're doing a great job of being like, I'm just not buying it. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to spend my money that way. And that will eventually, they're either going to have to throw that stuff away, and then they're going to have to hire
they're going to have to take a hit.
They're going to have to hire somebody, or they're going to donate it all to Habitat for Humanity. Either which way, they're going to have to take a hit.
Yeah.
And they're going to shrink, and that's when we're going to start to see them really, really come down.
They'll take a hit, and then they'll raise the price on something else that they feel like they can hold product to keep prices up too. Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, so we're focusing right now on getting, as much food in the ground as we can.
Did he turn around and go back?
I don't know. Do you see him?
Yeah, he's back down there at the gate.
Probably because I told the girls he was up there to make sure he wasn't getting into the feed or anything. I really think he was coming up here to check out the hay bale because that's like his thing. He comes up to check out the hay bale, but because she covered it for the storm, he probably was just like, well, I guess there's no hay bale, He is I'm going to tell you, we have learned a lot about this bull just watching him. Because he's so paternal. Like,
yeah, it's weird.
The weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Because we've been doing cows a long time now. You figure we had cows before we moved here.
Right. We've been doing cows for at least 10 years. 10 or 12 years. And so, Ladessa was a baby. No, Carol. Yeah, Ladessa was a baby. Carol was old enough to tell him to get him into her belly. So, yeah. So, it's been like probably 10 to 12 years. Probably 11-ish years. It's been a while. And I have never seen, although to be fair, we've never really had a bull on property with everybody. We've always bred them and then had them.
Yeah.
So, but this is very strange to us because when we brought the girls up here with their calves, we brought the one up and we brought the other one, she was gonna calf. That very night, Jason did a live stream, and in the middle of the live stream, he was coming up the hill. And ever since then, he literally comes up every night, and we had calf pow in there with the 2 calves, and he comes up, he stay out there all day, and then he'll walk up here.
I mean, he has a routine
now
because we have all of the bachelors, all of the steers
in the back.
And so he has his group of boys.
His homies.
His horn dogs.
Yeah.
He will, about this time every night.
I mean, you can almost set your clock by it.
He'll come up and he'll do like this lap up around here. And then he goes back, because we haven't fixed any of the fence in the front pasture yet. No,
it's wide open where he busted the gate back in Memorial Day.
Yeah. Well, we closed the gate.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we closed and locked the gate, but his fencing areas are not pulled tight, and he can still
go through. Okay.
Go duck underneath them. And that's how he's doing it right over there.
Okay.
But he'll come up, do his lap, and then he'll go back, and he'll bed down. Calf Pow will be about 50 to 75 yards from him. The calves will be 10 to 5 yards away from Calf Pow. He'll get up in the morning, and when we go back to check, he's standing at the back gate waiting for us to open up the gate so he can go back in there
and check his
homies.
Yep, he hangs with them all day.
So he'll go back there with the homies, hang around the creek, chew on some grass, talk smack about I got them homesteaders. They can't figure out how I can get back out. And they probably play poker and, probably smoke some cow cigars or
something.
Drink some beer or something. I don't know. And then about 3, 4 o'clock, he comes back up to the middle pasture. He hangs with his lady.
Hangs out with Calf Pow and the babies.
And then about 8
o'clock.
8:30, he comes moseying up to take a lap.
Now, before when we had Calf Pow up here in the stall, he would come up here at about 8. He would eat a little bit of hay. He'd go over to, and this is the cutest thing, we never caught it on film, but he would go over to the wall of the stall, and he would lick her on the forehead or lick her on the side of the face. He'd eat a little bit of hay, and then he would bed down right in front of her stall, or right off to the side of her stall.
Yeah.
And then first thing in the morning, about 6:30, because when I'd wake up, I'd get out of the shower, I'd look out the window. He was up on all fours, he's eating some hay, and then he'd walk to the back.
Yeah.
Every morning. Now that she's back there, he hardly ever comes up here. He hasn't been up here in a couple of days.
Yeah.
But he came up tonight, and I think just to check on the hay bale. I think he wanted to eat some hay. And I don't think he saw the hay bale because it's covered with a tarp. And so he turned around.
Or he wanted to come and say, hey, I can still do what I do.
Just letting you know. I still got your number, bro. Brah.
Still got you, homie.
Uh-huh.
So, but it's okay. Because this week we're going to go down there and we're going to clear out that section where I know he's jumping. But I've got to do this.
Hey, I wear aprons.
I've got to do this correctly. There's 2 other places that, they are in the thick of it. But I think I need to fix those 2 sections first before this, because if he goes back in there and walks out through there, 1, he could hurt himself, or 2, he could get lost and end up in the gangster's backyard and get shot.
That would be a bad day.
Or end up in the middle of the beaver pond lost
and
then stuck.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna go back there and we're gonna fix those spots first, and then when those spots are fixed.
But I keep telling him, you got 10 days.
Yeah, as long as I want. Everybody's on me to just, because we got some cows going to slaughter.
We got 1.
And
hey, Mimsy, what's up?
We sold 3/4 of the 1 cow, and so he's going to slaughter. Jeremiah and them, they want ground beef, and everybody, Chris from Single Dad Homestead, Robyn, Jeremiah, everybody's telling me, just send him. Here's my dilemma. Here's my issue. I know he can make babies.
And this is what ultimately why I keep agreeing with you. I'm just picking on you at this point because he's not doing. So the problem was, and we're going to put out a video to show you, when he first started coming up here, he was being a butthole. Like, he was doing some serious damage. And he was outstaying his welcome. Now that he's kind of realized his spot, like, we made it very clear because we had to buy a cattle prod when we were dealing with Delma. Yeah. And so we still have it. And so there have been a couple of times where he started to act like he was going to do some damage. Not at us, but just do some damage. And we just lightly reminded him.
Well, we got the cattle prod because we had our acupuncturist come out to try to help us get Delma up.
Mm-hmm. We thought it might be a pinched nerve.
Because we were told that it was probably either a pinched nerve in her back or she really messed up her spine. Mm-hmm. They flat out, everybody just told me to put her down. Well, he wanted to give it a go Just to see. And so we brought the cattle prod because I don't know if you guys remember when he treated me on a live stream that he has that medieval torture device that when he sticks the needles in, he touches the needles with it.
It's an electrical current.
And it sends an electrical current. And so he wanted that to be able to send the bigger current down through her. And so we got it. We invested in it. It's one of those things that once you buy it, there's no. It's not Walmart. They won't take it back. And so we got it. But that night he was getting a little antsy with us trying to work on Delma, and he was getting a little bit too close to Doc. So I just reached out and I zapped him with it. Now he sees it and he's like, "All right,
yeah." I mean, he sees it and he turns around and heads off. So I think after there was like one time because he leaned on the turkey area and then he busted the fence over by whatever, and we grabbed that thing and he's like, oh, I was just kidding.
I was just playing.
I was just kidding.
No need to bring that out. And this escalated quickly.
So I think now he pretty much knows that he can't do the kind of destruction.
Well, there's two things the reasons why I want to keep him. Eventually he's going to go. Within a year, he's going to be gone. Just like Calf Pal and all the other ones, they'll be gone.
Right.
Because we're going to start fresh. But in the meantime, if I'm going to be investing, I think Windswept, when I told him I wanted Highlands, he started sending me all these prices and stuff, and some Highland calves right now are going for almost $3,000 a piece.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, there ain't no way I'm afford being able to afford those right away.
But we found some. But we found some 700.
600-700. But either way, even if I'm just buying another Angus or an Irish Black, which I would really like to get those, but they love those so much also. Mm-hmm. But if I'm investing $600 or $800 in one calf,
right?
Whether it's a heifer calf or a
bull
calf,
yeah.
I want to make sure I can protect that investment. I do not want it wandering into a beaver pond and getting lost and drowning or getting stuck in the mud and dying.
Right.
I don't want it to wander into the gangster that moved in next to the cop down the road. Really I don't want him because there's a little bit of woods between his place and mine. I don't want the calf wandering into his place and him shooting it and thinking that he got free beef. I don't want to have to deal with that issue. I don't want him to wander into the soybean field next door and have to deal with that with big ag, and people raising cane. So right now, this Longhorn, I know he makes babies, so how long it takes me to be able to get the next line of cows in here.
By the end of this month, he'll have her bred again.
Yeah.
She'll be bred by the end of this month.
I'm still going to have beef for us to be able to eat, to be able to sell to friends and stuff that are close.
Kind of a bridge to get us to the next step. To be able to get us to the next
step. Plus, with him being ornery like this, he's going to show me every
everything.
weak spot I have.
Yeah.
So that way I can tighten that up. And then when the other cows come, the other herds come, we'll be able there'll be less stress.
Well, and
because if I can stop a big honking leghorn, longhorn, then little short Highlands should be okay, and the Herefords or the Irish Blacks, they should be fine because they're not going to be as tall as him.
Well, and I'll go one further. A bunch of you have been with us long enough to know the stress of getting the phone call that a cow was out.
Mm-hmm.
We have had a lot of that. Now, since Daisy passed, we haven't really. We had one situation with the bulls, the two bulls getting out, and they were fighting or whatever. But we haven't had a whole lot of any of that happening, and I would like to keep it that way. So that's the thing about with him getting out, he's not really getting out. He's just coming up to the front part of our property.
Yeah,
he's still staying on property. So it's, it's really, I think it started out as him going to come see his girlfriend, and I think now he just likes being able to mosey. I mean, if you think about it, he's a longhorn. It's in his DNA to be to roam, from one to the other. So I really feel like it's one of those things where we've been able, and I'll be completely honest with you, when he first started busting through, it was extremely stressful.
Yes,
we were really and especially because he was doing a little bit of damage here and there, and it was
he
like
ate
we
up
were
all
constantly,
the strawberries. We were going to have a very nice bumper crop of strawberries.
Yeah, we were super excited about our strawberries, and now they're starting to try and come back, but we won't have them until next year. But there was a lot of damage that was done, and so there was a lot of stress. But once we figured out, he figured out that there were things he could do and things that he couldn't do. We now don't stress. I mean, that whole thing when he came up, you saw all I did was message them and said, hey, because we haven't seen him up here, I want to make sure nobody's being lazy with the feed, because we had to lock up where the feed is, because one morning we went out there and he'd basically eaten half a barrel of feed. He'd eaten down to half a barrel of feed, and that's a lot of money for us. And so we had to start locking that up, and so that's one of those things. Now he doesn't really test any of that. Mm-hmm. And so the stress level has kind of gone down. Now when we see him, it's just Freckles is up here. Just make sure you put eyes on him. Make sure nobody's, he's not getting into. That's exactly what I sent him. I said, hey, Freckles is up here. Make sure he's not getting into the feed. And that's it. As long as he leaves the feed alone, I'm okay with him everywhere else.
But here, this has to really come to an end real quick, because we are getting ready to put in another garden. We are getting ready, because that's one of the things that we noticed also. Our feed prices has started to go up.
Yeah, we've jumped 2 cents in the last year.
Yeah.
Which seems like not a lot, but
when you start buying 600, 700, 800 pounds of feed, that 2 cents adds up. And I do not want to be caught behind the 8 ball where all of a sudden, due to this ripple effect,
that feed goes up.
The feed goes up through the roof, and now I've got a whole bunch of, what's up, GDP? I got a whole bunch of animals that I'm trying to feed and can't afford to feed them. So we're going to be putting in a fodder garden grown from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. Shameless plug.
You're even wearing a shirt you're all Baker Creek out.
I'm Team Baker Creek tonight, but we're gonna be putting in their fodder beets, their fodder carrots, cow peas, some squash, some zucchinis, pumpkins.
The birdhouse gourds are
amazing,
crazy, and the pigs love them. And the wonderful thing about that is when we start scooping up their poop to put in the compost, we end up with birdhouse gourds next year.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I'm hoping the rain breaks long enough, I'm going to shoot my garden tour for the month tomorrow, hopefully, and I have to show y'all where we had tried to plant corn, and instead
we got birdhouse gourds.
God planted birdhouse gourds.
Now, with us stopping the live streams for the rest of the summer, what we're going to do is we're going to put a video out on Saturday.
Yeah, so we're going to do 3 videos a week. So we'll
we're
still have a video out, it just won't be...
Yeah. So instead of the live stream, you guys are going to get a video. It may come out at 8 o'clock. It may come out earlier or whatever. Mm-hmm. But we're trying to get the AI right with YouTube and following what it says in the back office on what time that we're supposed to put stuff out. So we will bump it up to 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with that being said, we'll have those up. And we're doing so many more projects and stuff right now. We definitely have plenty of content. Like, Jason and I sat down to plan out next week's videos, and we had them all set up. And then today, we're sitting around doing what we were doing, and he's like, hey, I gotta film this. And I'm like, okay, there's the 3rd video. So we definitely have a lot of content to put out. Because we're going to be as busy as we are. So
super uber busy.
Yeah. I see a lot of people talking about me needing more chicks. I do not need more birds right now. We have more birds than we can handle at the moment. We've got. I will definitely not do that to Jason again.
Yeah. Now, GDP is in here. I want to say I want to give a special shout out to him because I watched his rainwater harvesting video this week because I want to set up. That's one of the things that's on my to-do list this summer is to set up a rainwater harvest system. If nothing else, for the kitchen garden. For I got 800 million other reasons why I want to set up a rain catchment system.
Right.
But he has a very, and I'm trying to remember what this title was, like the 5 things not to do or the 5 mistakes that they made with theirs. If you have not seen that video and you want to do a rainwater catchment system,
check it out.
That is the video to watch. Hands down, better than anybody else's, in my opinion. And I've watched a lot of them.
Because we want to, right.
And he covers some really some things that I'd have been like, ooh, I'd have done it that way.
Yeah.
Because your mind automatically thinks that, and he's like,
trust me, it made sense on paper.
It worked this way, but it's better to do it this way. And so if you're thinking about doing a rainwater catchment system, which I highly suggest everybody
look
do,
into, right?
Especially with the major drought that's going on over in the West Coast and everything, we're going to be getting a lot of rain on the East Coast because that's how it seems, how it always goes. That video does so many things. He talks about the drop, the stuff, what to do without seamless gutters, all kinds of things. Things that, like I said, honestly, I never would have thought about. And some things that he uses in that video, I don't want to try to just give the whole video away.
Just go check it out.
Woo!
Good idea.
Good idea.
Yeah.
So thank you, GDP, for making that video. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much because it's making like my watering system that I have, the rainwater catchment system for the turkeys out there. Now I know why it wasn't working. I made one of those mistakes. And to get it, well, we're going to be tearing that down anyway since Freckles busted it. But now I know
what to do different.
There for next time.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's going to save me a lot of frustration.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're going to, let me see how I can word this. If I was on the fence about whether or not I wanted to do some preparedness or homestead or whatnot, now is the time, I think, to get off that fence. Start putting seed in the ground. Start, learning how to can, learning how to cut firewood. Start looking at alternative energy sources, stuff like that. And I think it's going to benefit you in the long run.
I don't know. Anyway.
But let me tell y'all, I don't know what's going on in everybody else's garden, but in ours, squash.
Well, don't completely ruin it, because I'm going to do my garden tour, and I'm going to do, because I told you guys that I was going to do a follow-up on the plants that I rescued, and so I'm going to show you how they are doing, and it's pretty fantastic. I'll just put it that way. I was going to be doing some harvesting today, and I put off harvesting today so that I could do capture it all tomorrow when I film. But beans, we've got so many different things that are really kind of going crazy, and with all this rain that we've got over the last couple of days, things are kind of shooting up and shooting out, so that's been pretty exciting as well. So yep, is that about it? No, I'm planting more green beans. So that was one thing that I did. So I'll give you just a little bit, and I don't know, everybody probably has their own favorite on what their favorite bean or everything else is. One of my favorite pole beans has been rattlesnake pole beans, and it's because they're so prolific and they've done, really, really well. And I don't know if everybody saw my last video, but there's one section of my bean planting that there are no beans that came up. So we've pretty much figured out that I didn't plant anything there. So today, when I was harvesting the rattlesnake beans, I was like, you know what? I'm going to put another row of rattlesnake here as a succession plant, let it come up the trellis. So I planted more rattlesnake beans in there, and then it rained today, so God watered it in for me. So hopefully in a couple of days, because of how warm the soil is, those beans will probably start shooting up pretty quick. And now, now I've got a whole bunch of other stuff that's really starting to show off. So it'll be exciting to show you everything. It's going to be a long video because there's a lot to show you. There's an awful lot to show you.
Our kitchen garden is doing really, really well this year. I'm very excited about that. And
wow, green beans were a bust. Really? See, my beans so far have been really good, because I planted some Kentucky Wonders, some, I don't remember what the other one was. I gotta look it up. And then those rattlesnakes, and they have been amazing. If you haven't done rattlesnake pole beans, one, they're just cool looking because they're long green beans, and then they have this purple, stripe or whatever that goes, like a pattern that goes through them. That's really cool. We're getting ready to do purple whole peas, because those are cow peas. We're going to put those out.
Well, the nice thing about cow peas is not only can we consume them, but the animals, your livestock can consume them. And then the plant itself, you can dry it out, and it can be used as hay later on down the road. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. Birds love my beans way too much. So we haven't had any problems with the beans yet. So. Oh.
So,
goodness.
White Picket Fence
asked about the puppy.
Asked about the
she
baby.
is not a puppy now.
She's not the puppy anymore. Come on. Up here. Yep.
She's gotten
That's my girl.
She's gotten
Yes.
very big.
She's gotten very big, ain't you? Yes.
That's crazy. Poor boy loves rattlesnake green beans, but won't eat my kalimas. The kalimas are good too.
Settle.
I mean, I like kalimas. The problem with kalimas are they're a bush bean. So once they're done, they're done. And, you know, I just don't.
Careful.
Oh, baby girl.
That's how big she is now.
She's a big girl.
She's a big girl.
She's a big girl. Look at my big bee. Oh my goodness, you're getting so heavy.
And I think she
Hi,
loves
baby.
Robyn more than she loves me.
Come
That's
here,
not
baby.
true.
Come here, baby. Come here to me.
But you gotta get back
Well,
down.
come
You're
on.
not.
Come here to mama. Come here, baby. Come here.
So-
Come over here. Get away from daddy.
Yeah, the last time you seen her, she was on the desk. Yeah, she's not getting up on the desk no more.
No, she's a big girl.
She weighs a lot.
Now,
She's pretty smart, but she's definitely Roddy stubborn.
you can leave her here.
She's a I like to call my favorite hashtag right now is instead of Rottweiler is Rottenweiler because that's exactly what she is. She literally is just rotten.
Get
She
that bag
knows-
away from her.
She's not touching the bag, but I'll get it as soon as I can.
Roddy's go from being
Hey,
tiny little things with
No.
big honking paws and being oh so cute, oh so cute, oh so cute. And
to
then
being a teenager.
Then they enter what I like to call the velociraptor
Yes.
stage, where you start saying terms
Hey.
like add water, get retarded.
Yep.
Because get in your hole.
No, there's a bone down there.
Yeah, that's what she. And like when it rains,
Oh.
she comes in. Well, first of all, she's like scared of the rain. It's the first time I've ever seen a
Yes.
Roddy scared of the rain.
Yeah, she'll go out. She's very smart. We kennel her at night. First thing in the morning, she'll get up. We'll let her outside. She'll go pee, poop, do all that. And when she's ready to come back in, she'll scratch on the security door, and it makes a very distinct noise, so you know to let her in.
Mm-hmm.
Then she'll stay in. She'll walk around. She'll lay down, chill, unless you have a cup of coffee and your phone in front of you.
Yes, she does not like you looking at your phone because if you can be looking at the phone,
You can be looking at her,
You
scratching
could be
her belly.
giving her some attention. You could be scratching her behind her ears,
Yep.
or scratching her at her favorite spot on her belly. And if you're not doing that, then you better be playing with her rope
Yep.
or the latest Gatorade bottle or water bottle that somebody emptied.
Yeah.
Because she won't. She completely destroyed all the
All of the toys that
Sherry
sent us from
Two Family. She ripped the Grinch to shreds where he only had a head. The poor raccoon. He didn't stand a chance. The moment that he squeaked, it was over for him. And but so she likes Gatorade
Hey,
bottles.
Mama Z.
Gatorade bottles tonight.
Yes. Crystal, he definitely has lost some weight.
I have lost about
20-something pounds.
26, almost 30 pounds.
Mhm.
I stepped on scale the other night. I went from 260 something, what was I, 265 to 243. And I wish I could say that I knew what I was doing and I did all of this, but it wasn't. I literally, the VA put me in what they call the MOVE program.
Fat
And
boy
it's-
camp. Sorry.
Where they teach you how to DDT your wife when they call it. Fat boy camp. You get no, don't come over here kissing me.
Let me give you kisses.
No, you just call it fat boy camp.
It is fat boy camp.
No,
fat girl camp.
fatty camp.
Fatty camp. There you go.
But the stuff that I have learned, like one of the things that we've learned was my vitamin D was messed up. There's something messing it up that my body is extremely deficient in vitamin D. So I've been taking a vitamin D vitamin.
Vitamin D vitamin?
A vitamin D vitamin. That is medical terms. Just ask Naturally NC. Okay? Don't be coming in here trying to bust my chops on my vocabulary. That is a medical term. Vitamin D vitamin. Yes. So talk to the hand. And then they sent me this placemat that showed what your plate was supposed to look like. Y'all, and I was completely messing up my plate. And so once I adjusted my plate to make it kind of look like that, the weight really started falling off. It really
between
has.
that and chasing the cow all the time. But yes, that was a huge thing and it wasn't just for Jason. You know, we had to educate the girls because a lot of times they make the plate.
Yeah.
And so we had to show them this is what Daddy's plate needs to look like.
Because, I mean, that was one of my arguments with them. I kept going to them. There's got to be something wrong with me. There's got to be something wrong with me. Because there's no way that I should be this heavy with how I eat. Because I'm not fast food fat. Okay? I was misproportioned on the plate fat. And
this one time at Fat Boy Camp.
because it's like I was telling the lady, I don't eat fast food. I don't eat a lot of processed food, if any processed food. I'm going out, and as I'm walking doing the chores, or if I'm chasing the cow and I see, like when we were pulling a lot of those fences, my breakfast was me out there picking a bunch of blackberries and eating it right there. You know, that was what my breakfast was. And I said, and I do a lot of that. I do a lot of grazing on just organic, better than organic vegetables and fruits and vegetables and stuff. So how am I this fat? But so that has really kind of...
okay, so like lost dude, I cut out sugar and I lost... That did not work for Jason.
I haven't had sugar in a year.
And it did not do a thing. It had nothing to do with the sugar. It has everything to do with proportions.
Well, one of the things... Now, I'm going to star asterisk that. One of the things that I did learn in Fat Boy Camp was that, you know, because that was my foot, like I tell you. Like if you say, well, I use stevia. Well, if you buy the powdered stevia in the store, believe it or not, that's just as bad for you as the sugar because of all the stuff that they kind of add to it.
Put in it, yeah.
But if you go out front and you pick the leaves off the stevia and you put them in your tea, that's 1,000 times better for you. Okay, here's a life hack. If you go out and you plant mint or you plant stevia and you pluck the leaves to put them in your tea. Before you put said leaves in tea, put them in your hand and smack them. Give them a good spanking. Bow! One time. It does something that releases it, and it helps it get into the tea or your coffee or your water a lot better. Now, I wish I could say I figured that out on my own, but during a rainy day, I was bored, started binge watching Bar Rescue, and one of the mixologist dudes, whatever they are, told the bartenders to do that because it releases that, and I was like,
the oils.
I wonder if that's true. And we smacked a mint leaf. And
you
put
could smack. It was crazy because Carol put it in her hand. She was being a smart aleck. She's like, whatever. And so she took it and smacked it, and like you could smell it, like it
It's like a big mint explosion.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's what we do now.
Yeah.
Is we put that in the tea
and so
or the water.
if you do that, make sure you give it a good old fashioned woodshed
Berry
spanking.
Bonds.
Barry Bonds, that mint leaf.
Yep. Yeah.
So, and try to stay away from those artificial sugars and stuff, but
yeah. So and I'll tell you, I have noticed just putting mint in my water, like makes, because I drink water all throughout the week while I'm on the road, and putting an extra, mint leaf or whatever in there makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. Now, all you East Coast homesteaders right now, okay, pay attention to me. We're getting a lot of storms, but we're getting high humidity. Keep drinking that water. Don't think because the sun's not out or we got a rainstorm and it dropped down to 80 degrees, you're not going to dehydrate. You're going to dehydrate 10 times faster because the humidity goes through the roof. Mm-hmm. Keep pumping that water. I don't want to read about any of y'all on Facebook or see on the news, national news, right-wing homesteader dies from dehydration. Oh.
Yeah, definitely don't
pump that water. In fact, if you can afford it, I would suggest everybody that can afford it and those that can't, save up for it. Go online, Amazon. They cost about $30-$40,
something like that.
$50 for a good one. Get you a Camelback. That way, as you're walking around your garden or walking around your homestead, doing anything, you can just pick that straw up, that hose, put it in your pie hole, get you a couple of sips of water, and you don't lose any times. I'm going to end up here probably in the next couple weeks getting 3 of them. One for me and 2 for the girls, and then we'll get Robyn one later because the girls and I are getting it.
We went and bought the big 5-gallon thing, and we fill that up. We'd get ice in it, bring it down to where we were going. But like when you're out in the garden or whatever, and you're completely mobile, sometimes it's not worth burning the calories to go back to where the water.
And that's one of the things. Like Carol right now, she is overly paranoid because she is super skinny.
She's lost some weight,
and she will purposely not go get something to drink because she says it's not worth the calories. So we're going to have to get her a Camelback so that way I don't have to stress about that. I hate that for some reason now, I guess it's just the age.
Well, it's actually good. I'm actually happy that she doesn't want to lose weight because like that's...
Yeah, but it's still making her make bad decisions.
Right.
So we've got to kind of nip that in the old
Do you need to go out? You want to go out?
Can you talk? Can you sing for everybody? You gonna sing for him? No. Come here. But hydrate. We are also doing 3 to 4 water checks on our livestock and animals as well. So make sure you guys are doing that. Make sure that your animals have some type to access to some type of shade for them to get them out of the heat. All those kinds of things. So that way, because they can get heat illnesses just as fast as we can, especially your pigs. Remember, pigs don't sweat.
Neither do chickens.
So they can get heat stroke uber fast.
Quick, fast.
That's why this time of the year, most of our pigs are down by the pond in the multicolored.
That was funny.
The multicolored pig pen because they have access to the ponds. Now, I'll be First one to admit that they look like tiny hippos when they're at the heat of the day because they're all down there in the water with just like their heads sticking out, and they're just like,
they look like
fat people
hippos.
in a pool.
Yeah.
You know. So
even the little ones getting down there.
Yeah. That's another thing. We had 9 piglets born like a week ago. So just keep that in mind if you're looking for some pork.
Chickens cool down through their combs and other things. But yes, any form of stroke is really bad. It starts to shut down your organs. Yeah. Heat stroke is no bueno. Not even heat stroke, but just getting that dehydration and being overheated, not so much heat stroke, but overheated, that can take you out for a day or two before you can really start,
And look, some of us are not spring chickens in this chat box. Do not get upset with yourself if you're out there in this heat and you
can't do as much
and you're
as
like,
you used to.
What is wrong with me? I'm already sucking wind, or I'm already exhausted. Look, the heat will pull it out of you. Just keep pumping the water. Take more breaks. Work for 30 minutes, take a 5-minute break. Work for 45 minutes. You may have to adjust your schedule where you're getting up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, going out there, doing some of the heavy lifting stuff, coming in at lunchtime, crashing till 5, 6 o'clock, and then going out there again till 10,
9,
11 o'clock.
10 o'clock, yeah.
So
we've kind of, not necessarily 3, 4 o'clock, but like we're waiting for the sun to come up in the morning now.
Yeah.
And trying to get everything done. Now, one thing I will tell you that was really cool, and I don't know how many of y'all have had this, but like this morning I told Jason, I was like, I got to get out there and harvest some beans. And he's like, well, you better go out there and do it now before the sun is overhead. Well, my bean trellis is so full that it's the coolest place in the garden, even in the middle, because we went back in the middle of the day and went back and picked more. And like it was 10, 15 degrees cooler up underneath that trellis. I just hated when I had to go around to the outside to pick the ones that were on the outside. So now, note to self, in the morning, pick the stuff that's on the outside of the trellis. If I have to do it in the afternoon during the heat of the day, getting up underneath that trellis is probably the coolest, because I went in there and cleaned out where the grass had grown up. And I was up underneath there, and I mean, it was 10, 15 degrees cooler in there, so. Yeah, we've already got you on there, Misty. I do my outdoor chores at daybreak. Have them done by 10:30. Yeah, we're the same way.
We're the same way. We're waking up 5:36 in the morning, getting dressed, having a breakfast burrito in the morning as we're walking out the door. Carol's feeding, Dessa's watering, I'm moving tractors, and then I'm trying to get ready to start chopping wood to get it all ready for the wintertime. And then we're on a farm project that we've got to get done, either repairing a tractor, fixing fences, trying to, like, we're gonna be building some things and bringing you guys along with it, but then come lunchtime, we're done.
Yeah.
That's when the girls
schoolwork.
That's when the girls are sitting sitting by a fan.
Yep.
Doing their schoolwork till about 5 o'clock, which they're doing schoolwork from like 1 to 5. That's their 4 hours that the Georgia law requires. And I'm usually out here trying to get stuff set, dumping cards, trying to get stuff set up for Robyn, so that way we can edit. Or, I'm out here doing something, or I'm tinkering with something in the house, just trying to stay cool, lay low. And then about 4:30, 5 o'clock, we're back out there.
No, after dinner.
After dinner.
Yeah, like 6:30.
Well,
like it's late.
I say that because Friday is your late day, so you don't get home till about now.
Right, 7, yeah.
So we're usually out there 4:30, 5 o'clock. tidying things up to be ready for the next day. We make sure the IBC tote is in the back of the truck, getting full of water to be able to water, and we're just running it.
Teresa, that's something we have in mind too, is to do all of our canning outside, because it definitely, we've even noticed just cooking, because we cook in cast iron, so that cast iron gets hot and then it, emanates that heat out around the house. During the winter, it's awesome because it keeps everything nice and warm everywhere. But in the summertime, it's rough. So we've really started doing a lot of our cooking outside.
In fact, there's going to be a video coming out this week, right? About how we're doing it, what we're doing now, what we put together
to be able to
do that. Pickle juice popsicles.
Yes.
We wouldn't be able to keep them in the house. Carol would go through them like it was.
We'd never have enough pickle juice to make the popsicles. She drinks it before and that's one of the things. So like, I dropped the ball on planting cucumbers this spring, and so I waited until just a couple weeks ago to plant this on the second round, and so we now have a ton getting ready to start coming up. So Carol's like super uber excited about it. Yeah. Good night, Anna. We're so glad you were able to come by. Yeah, and to be able to comment and everything. I know she really stresses about all of that. I only can outside on the turkey fryer base. See, we've had a hard time because we used to have one.
Well, it had a stupid timer on it.
Yeah, for the scalding, and we need to be able to figure that out. So
yeah, I need to get one that doesn't have a timer on it.
Yeah.
And just be done with it.
Yeah.
And do it that way. But we are definitely, thank you to Jess for selling us the Mean Girls, and because they have already cleared out the area where Robyn's outdoor kitchen is going to go. I just have to get in there and drop some trees and then remove some stumps, and then we can start the building process for your outdoor kitchen. I mean, they went in.
It's all clear. And what's crazy is we had pigs in there.
Yeah.
And these goats tear it up more than the pigs. The pigs tear up the ground, but the goats came in and cleaned out.
Yeah, we were able to get in there with just some loppers then and just start lopping a lot of the privet down. They took the briars out. They took the poison ivy out. They just went in. It's basically bare land now, all except for little bitty chunks of privet and this and that here and there that we have to go in and lop out and then dig up the root ball and drop some trees.
All right. Somebody said, so Lone Star said, I'm focused on getting a wood stove. My neighbor is going to give me a deal. I know it's crazy to be thinking about this now, but after last winter, we need alternative heating. I will tell you that this past winter, we used it like crazy.
Now, Lone Star, I pick on Robyn for this.
All the time.
All the time. But this is what she did. She took, because you look at the square footage of your home and you look for the heater that will fit that one. Robyn went up the next size.
Now, the reason why is because of how weird our layout is of our house. That, most people, if they have a 2,000 square foot house, it's kind of open and there's usually a central location where everything is. But where we were going to be putting it...
I honestly believe the guy who designed our house was a prepper. And he had military background because there's so many pinch points in my house.
Yeah.
That you come in my house unexpected, I don't even have to work hard. I mean,
everything twists and turns. And so for that reason, I bought the next size up to be able to, because to me, it's better to have too much than not enough. So if I had a small one and it just wasn't putting out enough, we've wasted money. At least with having one that's a little bit bigger than what we needed, we can choke down the fire some if we have to, or open up some windows, which we have had to do.
Opened up times. Windows, the doors.
Box fan in
had
the middle
box
of the
fan
winter.
going, attic fan going. Because one day, Carol or Ladessa, we asked one of them, hey, can you get the fire going? Well, they were kind of cold.
And our kids, like...
And they don't like to be cold.
No.
And Dessa got it going. The next thing I know, Robyn is coming through the house. Holy smokes! And which was great for me, because you remember that, you guys heard that country song, Jaquila makes your clothes fall off? Well, Robyn with the wood stove, if it gets too hot.
I was in a tank top and shorts in December.
Yeah, it was great for me. It was for my viewing pleasure only. But, because, I mean, she's hot.
Whatever.
In more ways than one. But we had to open up because we got the security door. Mm-hmm. We had to open that up.
Yep.
To the point where I said, this is where we came up with the idea for the atrium. Mm-hmm. To be able to do, like, y'all remember Growing Pains? Growing up? Watching
where
them.
they had, like, off of their kitchen was, like, actually a greenhouse.
Yeah.
That's what we're thinking of doing, because we can still heat a whole nother area. And
what was that? Was it Kirk Cameron was in that one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. As long as we got each other.
Okay.
Yeah. So we thought about putting that on there, because in the wintertime, we can just open up that front door. Sunlight coming into the atrium will heat it, but her with this wood burning stove.
In the winter, we'll be able to keep it nice and warm still.
And again, special shout out to Wanderlust Homestead, because Mark came down and he got up in my attic for me, because I had no idea what I was doing.
And he had already done it.
And he'd done a couple of them, and he put the chimney in for us.
And that was my other thing, is with all of the trouble that you have to go to get this thing installed, I didn't want to have to redo it because we got the wrong size.
And Mark did a jam up
job. Really did. He did a really good job.
Doesn't leak, so
we don't have any issues with it.
No issues with it, and it works great.
Yep.
And again, huge thank you to Wanderlust Homestead. You guys should go over there, check out their channel, subscribe, send a video, and tell them that we sent you, and thank them for helping us put in the wood burning stove. Give them a little bit of support.
Crystal said, I should be losing a bunch of weight in this studio when it's hot out, that's for sure. Yeah, she's been learning the true meaning of insulation and lack thereof, because I
bet
it gets nice and hot.
Well, look, these shed buildings that folks are turning into tiny houses, like what Blaze did with the red barn that he has paid off, and it's ours now. If you don't insulate them correctly, they're a sauna.
Yeah.
They're a heat box.
Yeah, you're going to bake yourself. Yeah.
You are going to bake in there in the summertime, and you're going to freeze in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So, if you get those, make sure you insulate them correctly, boy, or you're going to be sweating.
Or freezing. One or the other.
All right, guys. Well, we've been on a little over an hour, almost an hour and a half. We still haven't even eaten dinner yet.
I know.
And
that's another reason.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much. We've been doing these live streams for, I think, what did we say, 5 years?
5 years.
5 years now. We never really took a long hiatus break like this before. And so if you've been with us that entire 5 years, Robyn and I want you to know that we just absolutely love you guys. Thank you so much. You've even been with us for just 5 minutes. We appreciate you guys taking this time out on a Saturday evening to come and hang out with us. Now, we will pick this back up again in the fall, winter time frame. But right now, we're just overwhelmed. We have just so much on our plate this year that we got to pump the brakes here, because
there's a lot to get done in a short
amount of time.
In a very finite amount of time. Yeah. Like what I was saying earlier, is our growing season's halfway over. And like I said before, I dropped the ball on, cucumbers and melons, and there's so many things that we still have to get more in the ground.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah. And like this bull has taught us, we have some structural issues that have to be fixed.
Yeah.
And So we've got to get those fixed before it start really costing us more than we can afford.
Well, and like, if we don't get it done by the winter time and we neglect to take hay back there, they're going to come up here and start pilfering in the feed.
Yeah.
And that
or they're going to go...
could be... Or they'll go into somebody else's field and we could possibly lose them. So, either way, that could cost us a lot of money. Because at any point in time, there could be a couple of $100 worth of feed out there.
Well, not that. Yeah, but if they get into the wrong place, cause wrong damage.
Oh, yeah, that could be detrimental. Right.
Get hit by a car.
Right.
God forbid it, they kill somebody because of it.
Yeah.
I don't want that. And that's one thing that Freckles has done is started to say, okay, fat boy, you've been here almost a decade
8 years.
now.
Right. It's time to
you
start
need to
fixing
start
these fences.
looking at this stuff because it was old when you got here. And in all honesty, we just took it for granted that it was there. And
you can call me D.
and so we've got these things need attention and they need to be fixed. And that, look at that.
Holy cow, that's a big old frog. That thing is massive. I don't know if you can get it over there. Can you get it over there?
Right there in the corner. Go tap on it. It is the world's biggest tree frog.
He don't want to move. He's watching the live stream.
Yeah, he's watching the live stream. Anyway.
Whoop!
Yeah, after I take the camera away.
He jumped all the way to the pond. It was crazy.
Jason, did you ever get a branding tool? No. I have... Well, yes and no. Josh from JJL Forge sent me a couple of stuff for my woodworking stuff. But unfortunately, the one looks like the bear paw is giving you the middle finger.
Which we didn't notice until we started putting it on.
Until I put it, I think I put it on Sherry from Two Families.
On her
cutting board.
And
cutting board, and
I
then I was like...
look at it, and I was like, do you see what I see?
And then I was like, well, Sherry, I got to make you another one. And she was like, no, send me that one. I like that. And I was like, oh, okay. Weirdo. And then the small one was, you just couldn't read it. So I'm still kind of in the market looking for one.
Yeah, we don't have one right now that's any good.
But I am probably going to use those to start because of
branding the
how things are going.
Cattle.
I'm going to start branding my cattle with it and stuff like that because there has been reports of right across the river over there in South Carolina over there where Terry lives.
Yeah, stealing cattle.
People stealing cattle.
Especially calves because they're small enough they can put them in a minivan or whatever and take off with them.
And they're taking off with them.
Yeah.
And granted, I'm in the middle. I'm close to a major road, but you got to walk.
You got to really walk through to get to us. We're kind of insulated.
Yeah,
so.
But I'm still not going to take that chance because, storms happen, trees fall. No matter how good of fences I do eventually get up, a tree can fall.
Yep.
And so
Oh, it's funny.
So, but I say that I call Sherry that as
out of love.
Out of love.
We love Sherry.
Yeah, she's Nana Sherry to our kids.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and say good night for now.
Good night.
And it really won't be long. It'll only be a couple of months.
3 or 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Hardly wait to see what you guys have accomplished while you were gone.
Yep.
Well, we're going to be covering it on our video.
Yeah, you're going to see it in the
really
videos.
Lose. And that's the other thing I was going to say is if you are on Facebook, we try to post there just about every day because when I post my Instagram, I link it to my Facebook. So we're still going to be checking in. It just won't be for an hour or an hour and a half. So
yeah. So you guys, if you're not on, if you're on Instagram and you're not following us because Robyn posts a Instagram picture every morning about between 6:30 and 7, like clockwork.
I sit down with my cup of coffee and I post my picture.
Post her pictures. Now she's slack on the weekends.
On the weekends.
She doesn't really post that much on the weekends.
Normally, because I usually see you guys on Saturday night, so
So now she's gonna be doing it. So be looking for a post in the morning.
Yeah.
She also shares that on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Now look, I'm not saying I might not pop up and go live if something crazy's happening.
Right.
Just to kind of share it with you guys, and if we have a situation where we got free one Saturday night, we may pop in and say hello. Whatever. But as of right now, we're not scheduling.
Yeah, we're not going to schedule them for every Tuesday or every Saturday. Yeah. Okay,
so we apologize, but there's some major structural things that we just got to get them done. Yeah. We got some stuff to get done. So for the last time until whenever, the winter, fall, whatever,
fall, yeah.
Couple of weeks.
Probably till after. No, it'll be after Labor Day. It'll probably be like October before we.
Yeah. Now look, archery season starts September 12th. Y'all know I go live from the deer stand. So there's that.
Yeah, that'll be that. And that'll be September, so.
Yeah, September.
All right.
So, Robyn and I want to remind you to plant smiles.
Grow giggles.
And harvest the love, baby. Yeah. Be kind to one another. Look, I know things are going sideways and they're throwing so many distractions at us right now, and they're trying to scare everybody with talking about doing door-to-door things, talking about doing this and the new variant and all of this. Don't become ugly to each other because of this. Be kind to one another. Okay? Because at the end of the day, it's always been the people versus the government. It's always been that way. Some yahoo wants all the power while the people just want to be free. Mm-hmm. So power to the people.
Stick it to the man.
Stick it to the man.
You've got me conditioned now.
I got the girls conditioned. I can walk in the house right now and go, power to the people. And they'll be like, stick it to the man.
Yeah.
So just be kind to one another. Recycle, reuse, repurpose. Keep everything out of the landfill. And get the plastics, y'all. Get the plastics out of our ocean. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll
see y'all
soon. God bless.
Good night, y'all.
Oh, I know some of y'all are waiting around for this right here, but Robyn distracted me, so I'm sorry. I just want to say once again that we love you guys. Thank you so much for the support over the last 5 years. And we will be back doing live streams as soon as we get all of this mess sorted out that we've got going on here. But hey, if you're in Northeast Georgia and you want to help sort out said mess, just hit us up on Facebook or Instagram Messenger and let us know, and we'll give you directions to the homestead, and we will put you to work. So remember, be prepared, stay friendly to each other. We love you guys, and we'll